speaker for this morning is Dr. Mohammed Al-Qadha. Dr. Mohammed has a rich practical and theoretical legal experience, in particular within areas of investment laws and policies, international trade, alternative dispute settlement, and intellectual property laws and policies. Dr. Al-Qadha is a practicing lawyer since 1997, and throughout his career, he has involved in legal consultations, drafting local and international investment agreements, and preparing defenses for different lawsuits. Dr. Al-Qadha has a rich experience in the investment laws and policy in Jordan and the region. He serves as a legal expert in the Jordan Investment Board, and he has been engaged in a wide range of legal, promotional, economic, and policy issues during the course of his career with the Jordan Investment Board. He is a member of the Jordanian delegation negotiating free trade agreements under the umbrella of the Ministry of Industry and Trade, where he is in charge of legal advice and intellectual property issues in these agreements. Dr. Al-Qadha has worked as a university lecturer since the year 2000. Currently, he is an assistant professor in the Hashemite University. He is a part-time lecturer at the University of Jordan and Talal Abu Ghazali College of Business. The areas of focus for Dr. Al-Qadha are those related to investment laws and policies, intellectual property, insurance, contract law, and company law. He holds a PhD in law from the University of Newcastle with a thesis titled The Modern Intellectual Property Laws as a Policy to Attract Foreign Direct Investment in Jordan. He also holds a Master in Laws and a Bachelor in Law from the University of Jordan. It depends. إنجليزي بس في 30 minutes 30 دقيقة. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. First of all, I would like to extend my warmest thanks to Talal Abu Ghazali College of Business and my colleagues, Mutassim and Hamis, for their efforts. Also, I would like to welcome our guests from wider. Thank you for coming. Actually, what we are asked to talk about today, I would consider it to be one of the basic issues regarding intellectual property laws in terms of their role in creating more knowledge and creating wealth and economic development. And to be honest with you, this is one of the most sophisticated questions to be answered in the world of IP today. It is really one of these complicated things. Because I think you all agree with me that at the moment we've got some kind of different points of view regarding the new and higher standards of IP protection, whether these would be for the benefit of developing countries or not. If we go back 10 or 15 years ago, we would notice that since 1995, the world started to witness a huge change in the area of intellectual property. This resulted from the introduction of the WTO and the TRIPS, and the debate started actually, I would say, another 10 years before that. In 1985, 1986, when the Uruguay round started, we had some kind of a divergence between developed and developing countries. Should we go further with IP protection, or should we stand at a certain point where each country is allowed to design its own intellectual property policy? Within this context, the discussions is still emerging so far for these issues. So what I would like to discuss with you now is, I will just start with something which is not traditional. I will talk about the Jordanian economy for 5 minutes. The Jordanian economy, which I consider would be a good case study for IP protection, is characterized with a few, I would say, negative parts. One of them would be the small market size, the lack of a human and nature, the lack, of financial and natural resources, and the importance of a human capital. Within this context, we should ask ourselves a few questions. What would be the solution for these problems? How can we benefit our economy if its market is small? How can we develop? Well, one of the answers that came out with the government was the introduction of the free trade agreements, and I think Samer was one of the delegation negotiating the most important one, which is the United States Free Trade Agreement. So this was actually some kind of a policy issue, that how can we tackle our economic difficulties. Again, if we have a lack of financial and natural resources, should we go to more education, more industries based on human creativity, on knowledge-based economy? And if you observe the initiatives by His Majesty King Abdullah, you would notice that there was a great concentration on the area of knowledge-based economy and on the development of new areas of economic activities. And the relationship between this economic situation and IP is, I would say, a very strong relationship. It is a very strong relationship. Because in Jordan, although we haven't been a developed country, although we have some major economic difficulties, we still have that advantage of having the human wealth. In Jordan, I would argue that we contribute effectively to the development of many countries in the region. And engineers and software developers in most areas of the region, they are Jordanians. So in this context, we should have some kind of an IP policy that would benefit Jordan and create more opportunities. I would go back to this issue on a later stage. Within this context, and within the change in the global economy, which is a significant change, by the way. So if you notice now, the knowledge-based industries is much more important than ever before. It is really, really important now. So we can't ignore the existence of the software industry as a huge industry now, the movie industry, the pharmaceutical industry. These industries are driven by research and development, and they are driven by factors different from what we have seen, I would say, 70 or 80 years ago. I wasn't there, but of what we know. So instead of having a huge labor force, instead of having a huge natural resources, you would find that some countries are achieving great economic growth, benefiting from their maybe IT industry, maybe from another industry which is based on their knowledge. And you would see that there is small countries in size, such as Singapore, Hong Kong, even Dubai, and they are achieving a huge economic growth. So it's not the case of, I would say, a traditional theory of economics and how things should operate. Within this context again, we should go back to IP. What would be the role in IP in such knowledge creation? Well, I would say it's quite clear to most of us that there are two dominant arguments in this regard. The first one is we should have a strong IP protection, because this is the only way to develop knowledge and to create more opportunities. On the other hand, you would find some international organizations, some respected scholars, who argue that we should differentiate between two different sets of countries.